President. Someone who as I was with Moses Shaw would be good and you. No one will be able to withstand you all the days of your life. All the days of your life. Now I'm going to sign a generational God. From every generation I raise someone. If it is not a Deborah, then it is a Joshua. For if it is not a Esther, then it is a Nehemiah. For every generation, you get a seven couple chairs. A couple chairs are who come along to now as far as uniform as marching unto war. Come to charge you. Be of good hope. Be of good faith. Be of good courage. Now, I'm not coming to you down there. I'm doing a great work. Just in case. This organization is President. Someone who as I was with Moses Shaw would be good and you. No one will be able to withstand you all the days of your life. All the days of your life. Now I'm not saying. Now I'm going to sign a generational God. From every generation I raise someone. If it is not a Deborah, then it is a Joshua. For if it is not a Esther, then it is a Nehemiah. For every generation, you get a seven couple chairs. A couple chairs are who come along to now as far as uniform as marching unto war. Come to charge you. Be of good hope. Be of good faith. Be of good courage.
We need to see sometimes the sharpshooters, which means we need to kuluma and we speak about issues that are currently at the head. First things, why are some? I'm not saying all. I'm saying some political leaders are afraid of President Gauzela and Swalimo. Not because in Swalimo, but you see, if uhleli and we are buga, you spectate, you just look and you observe. Ukanza guti the existence of President Gauzela will let the fear. I don't know, but let's say fear, well, let's have Wesaba, Guma political leaders, and also you know, Buti Shabam even Narata organization catches profane. I will make it clear, Buti Babe Kundwane was running through and everything, but Lapa enzaweni lekuthiwa kusesiphofaneni. He wanted kufaka umshana wakhe babe gamete because besekamzala, because he has run for something. So what's angimane ngikhampelele umshana, but as soon as he heard ukuthi Gauzela is running for noma uphakanyisiwe noma he's running utawusukumela likhetho, he decided to say no, I'll run on him mshana ngeke umkhona emagawugawu. And that's what happened, and fortunately enough wawina ke President Gauzela. So I'm just bringing the issue ukuthi ama political parties lamanye or some and some political leaders, they but you know which political leaders I'm talking about. So because I don't want to mention names, because when you start mentioning names, you know hell's gonna break loose. But what happened is labantu the idea yakhe ukuthi unebantu mhlambe laba ordained emtimbeni wakhe. Now we cannot run away from the fact ukuthi he has been running musical shows. We've seen his success, he pull your crowd. So they thought he's going to bring that into the political spectrum. So that's why lama power labawafunago. Uyabona ukuthi political leaders are power hungry. Sebavele bona sebabalile ukuthi kule ndayikaza lesiqoshako le umlende netibins dam already lo muntu usovela ubalile ukuthi le ndayikazane lesiyitingelako lena letibinzi dam naloku kwami already sebavele baphese bophelepele sebalungisele kudla bona sisazama ukutingela nale nyamatane sisengakayibambi, you see. So now kuletha imbalance emkhathini abantu labaningi laba labangekho kupolitiki, laba bathi mina ngisemile nje ngisabuka ngifuna kubona ukuthi kwenzekani, nalaba mhlawumbe labakhathi kupolitiki lento idelay struggling ngendlela esimanga. Why am I coming out here and just putting it quite frank? It is because I'm seeing a proper. I will explain again with delay struggle. Why are they afraid of this Swalimo? Or why do they? Because look, Lama attacks on the Swalimo side. Lama attacks President Duduzi Eric Smelan. I will explain again. Lama attacks Lawa. They don't show bravery. Lama leaders. No. But ichemisa vulnerability yabo towards the president. I don't know why they feel so vulnerable, but you are making umuntu lo vulnerable noma lokhula hlukubetheka ukuthi uba ibully, and he uses to bully others so that kwenzekani ke kuze ukuthi atozama kuvala lesikhala sokuthi uyicoward noma uligwala noma ungumuntu lo vulnerable. So most vulnerable people bese basebenzisa kuba bully, or they portray themselves as big and they start bullying other people to try and make sure they appear strong when as they know exactly they are weak. And that the way they are so weak. Now, when you start using propaganda, you should know so very well you are very weak. We know the state or the status quo, the Hulumende Lokona, has been using propaganda for some years. As a basic propaganda, it was propaganda for some years. Sikwama say youth sekuboleka imali tema business etinkundleni sikwama sengonyama bongo baqasi imali iqhamuke ngonyameni lokho. It has been on it for some years kanti imali iqhamuke esikhwameni sahulumende iqhamuka emthelweni wemaswati. It has been propaganda for some years. Once waqala kusebenza nge-propaganda, now you should know you have already what failed this man. But now when we see political leaders batathatela ngale batathatela ngayo these days, then you will know ukuthi hey, somebody that feels threatened, utiva are threatened as a good position because yena kule ndayikaza lesayidingela, so vele ubalile ukuthi unemlende nesibinzi so vele ubalile kodwa sisayidingela and sisengakayibambi nale ndayikaza. How much more sesiyibambile ke sesitaweni njani? So ke kuyahlupha by the time ukuthi siyadingela umuntu yena so vele ujayele usike emaqhaza because uma sekungendeke ngalendlela yakhe he will feel threatened, he will feel very angry. And now I would say again ukuthi perhaps we should all know ukuthi he might have been ordained for lo msebenzi because we see the pool. Swalimo is only 5 months old. Nangibuka ma statistics when I'm doing my research, I find out ukuthi Swalimo is only 5 months old, turning 6 months kule nyanga le, but they have accumulated so many membership. They have joined, and they've already shown and done so many things, and the political presence yabo ikona, despite the fact ukuthi bayanyathelega, and we see ukuthi bayaqhubeka bayanyathelega throughout, but they are there, and their political presence is always there. So literally it's called politics and agendas. So definitely we are going to speak about politics and agendas. Kunama agendas gela khona lamaningi lehlukene and all the thing. Ngeke sikhulume ke indzaba yokuthi imandate yini. The only thing political leaders la besaba kakhulu, I will explain. Besaba nangu. Swalimo na I've been studying Swalimo for some time now and looking at other political parties as well, because I generalize when I do my research to make sure what I have points lehlukahlukene. But I found out some political parties, especially one leading political party, has been on it for some years. It has a 10-year workout plan, 10 years of a workout plan. Then they are still trying to push and make sure it works. But the plan here by 10 years that have been pushing for some time, and again and again and again and again and again and again. Including Guti, they are not participating because we want to collapse them, which is very fine. But I don't know Guti what benefited Maswati not participating for some time. Because umendeka kwakuzetela eMaswati, because all along imithetho besosishayela bomangololo ekuzetela eMaswati, and we've been out there to it and everything. So Alimo on the other side is 5 months, but it's solution based. You see, when you have an organization that comes through and say, I'm providing solutions, whereas when you don't have any solutions at the moment, that will bring clash. Every time when I see Swalimo coming up with a strategy or a plan or an idea of fighting the system, other political leaders are going to fight against that idea that they come with. But as they fight against that idea, they do not present any idea themselves. Okay, bayilwa indzaba yokuthi hayi sengayini ngeke sikhona perspective inkundla singathi phone and all the things, ngeke sifake abantu eParliament and all the things. They've been talking, they've been on it for some days now, and I've been watching other spaces and writing down notes. But there's one thing that I've seen. Abagase baqhamuka the idea ngisho one. Kude ngisho yinye labaqhamuke nalo ngelikhambi ke bona. So uyambona umuntu lophikisa idea but yena angalethe likhambi ukuthi ungumdukisi because akanalo likhambi. I have an idea, you know. You cannot bring an old idea, and the reason why size sifika lapho sithi kuze kuboshwa ama MPs ethu, sifika lapho kuthi kuze mhlawumbe Mduduzi Eric Smelane, the president of Swalimo, comes up with Swalimo as a voice of the 3 MPs. Size sifika lapho because the 10-year plan that Pidomo has besolo inayo, ayigase ya manifesta, we haven't seen much from it. It has always been there, but as gasi sabona anything much lengakanani khona yendeka. So now when bantu baqala phikisa a progressive or a progress or an idea that is starting off, but bona bangaqhamuki ne idea yabo ukuthi sithi atheka kanjani system, it's a problem. So yabona imoto uma say bulele ema bearing ema sonveni seyibule ema bearing seyibanga umsindo kudip seyibanga umsindo, yeah, you change the bearing, yabo, but utawuthi lo muntu hayi lama bearing lakhona nyalo sangama aftermarket, so angeke azalasta sibuyiselo lelidzala ngoba ngiyo lelisebentako, but uyalapha lelidzala ukuthi ngiyo lelingasasebenzi selibanga umsindo. So some strategies we need to replace them with new ones, and it's okay to feel threatened when somebody comes through and do something better, right? But as that person tries to do something, make sure uthi nawe you better yourself first. And so I'm not trying to decampaign any political leaders or anything, but I'm trying to say, let us correct the error of saying we have the page because Pudemo has a page on Facebook and the page le Pudemo there's somebody who's just posting and posting. Whoever would see post an individual la posting la coming from a national page le fan and page le Pudemo. It shouldn't be things about the mundu munye or umuntu munye lone mangungu abhale mangungu akuyeva ukuthi it's a personal agenda. But now ngasubuta bonga bopute they don't know much about who's writing on their page or lobhala on behalf of the page or bhala on behalf of Pute because lo muntu bhala a personal agenda is not addressing any issues. Now I must say again, if on the page lako but the page le party it's a big party pela ipute it's one of the national parties lako na lamakulu futhi. We don't expect ukuthi ungabhala ubhale personal issues. Whoever's lobhala ngwelo lohlukubetekile. And sometimes you just say, hey, is it you Mlungisi Makhanda? Uwatshele wena ukuthi yize idea lo nayo. No, emaswati uwatshele ukuthi uyawakhulula kanjani. Once wawakhulula emaswati, once waqhamuka ne idea noma plan, athi wathatha kulandzela. You see, emaswati akamlandzela umuntu lode ini likhambe. The solution. And number two, understand ukuthi all businesses are solution based. Mangabe ezaweni yasemafutheni kude laba fixa emathai angivule indzawo ngene njani ngithengise emathai ngiphethe emathai ngifake emathai. I am bringing solution kunesikebesi. So if a political party does not serve its purpose or good they say kwendago, then people obviously are going to look elsewhere for people that will come with what? A solution. Now, right now, political parties befuna ngabe aplana indlela ukuthi how do we intensify the struggle kukhulula baqethe namthandeni ejele, and how do we intensify the struggle to make sure ukuthi siyawushintsha lo mthetho nale decree ya 1973. But no, political parties are not doing that. Ungamangala ukuthi kodwa lokhu kukhona freedom charter yabo. Mawuthi ufuza freedom charter yabo uyakhaza sikhona ukuthi bafuna ukalibhanishe ama political parties. But they're just not doing it. No. But busy with petty issues inside of laga Facebook. So yabona ukuthi struggle ungase sibuye ka Facebook kakhulu, and the political leaders bangena kakhulu ku Facebook and most. We understand ukuthi Iswalimo was born virtually. Yatalwa virtually, but have you ever seen a political party letelwe virtually noma leqaleka Facebook, but it has grown so much even on the ground, and it has win the heart of many masses. So kuze still win more hearts into the struggle, because guys, asikube ngiqiniso, lesifuna kola kuthi siwine tinhlityo tebam into the struggle, not into Swalimo, not into Pudemo, not into EFF. We just want to win more hearts of the people into the struggle of Eswatini. That is what we are after. But then, the reason why we are speaking right now is because we are growing weary, we are growing tired. You see, mawukhuluma nebam la ngaphandle bathi, Moloy, ngiyafisa lokujoyina, but it seems like kunemsindo la kulama political parties. Manje ngithi ungathi Amazon affiliate asengihlalela lapha kashana. Most of us, they feel like that. As the melody, I think iphatla ngibonile yinye Iswalimo ngifuna kuyijoyina, but ngiyesaba lokujoyina because baye atheka imisindo banamaningi. They don't want to affiliate noma bafuni kungenela le struggle because of imisindo within the political parties, and leaders haven't made up their mind. And it's just not ngeke ngibale nonke ma leaders probably munye lo muntu. Yeah, it's just one man, and I don't know ukuthi yeah, political sense yakhe ikhona yini, but and munye lo muntu yebo, which I feel was leyo political part leyo kumele imsuse lo muntu lo, because there are other the powerful political leaders within. Ngiyathi ukuthi ngaSeptember iPhudemo iyahamba iya ku Congress iyovotela abaholi bayo including the president. So we want to make sure ukuthi lapha kaPhudemo hambani join emaswati nanifuna kujoyina iPhudemo, and then make sure ukuthi nanifika kuPhudemo you make sure ukuthi nifuna umholi loqotho, umholi losinakakhuluma angakaki, angubeke nje kucaca losinakakhuluma lo mholi angakaki. Siyathi ukuthi if inkosi Mswati uma iyokhuluma kuma ceremonies wangambhalela speech King Makhosetive Dlamini, King Mswati the third. Obvious Dr. Upmandonyeni yakhe imbundana because utawukhuluma into lebhekecele dot. Akhuluma into le off script, akhuluma into akhuluma ubona le leader lekhuluma kole ayathi ikhuluma ngani noma izakiwe nobinjani. Uyabona? Because akana party nikana mbona nakuyovula iparliament. Last time wabekela speech. Wakhuluma afunza speech. Wakhuluma afunza speech afunza pass speech. Wa address ama issues wa address onke ama issues kahle wakhuluma nangemindeni liyalimalela bantwana waxolisa wakhuluma siyabalila kubhale pass that was okay but susa the script akade ukhuluma ngani. I feel like kaput demo sidinga ukuthi kube khona ubhalela president wabo speech because every time he speaks in public he's too biased, he's fighting, he's arrogant, he's fighting somebody. He's always out there fighting somebody. He's always ready to fight and fight. And there's nothing much he's doing, basically. So what we believe, Nisaya Congress, evaluate and check my leaders, Lako, especially Lapetulu, Anja. We believe Ukona SG, where put them. Yeah, I think he's a well-spoken a gentleman, a humble gentleman, but well-spoken and fierce and raw. He's a lion. So you might want to look at the SGO put him as a president in Taumbe. I'm not campaigning for 1 year, but I'm just saying, Gusi, his sound mandate. When he speaks, whoever Gusi, Lamuti is well versed about politics. And Narakuluma, whoever would know, this man, he knows what he's saying, other than the president. Swalimo is not going to have Congress until 3 years. Reason why they said that is because they want what you call continuity. They of course did have those who were available. When they started Swalimo, because I'm studying all the political parties. The reason why I know Wusi put Demoya Congress in September is because I do investigate. So when I was investigating I found out most of the people Labu NCO, most of them were not voted in. In fact, they were not voted in, but they were just available at the time. My trial I saw Limoya with 5 people, which was Dr. Spetro. He availed himself because of his political background. And say, President, I want to assist you as President. In the part, can you join? What said that I will join? They were the first 2 members. And another comrade, Lobe Mbusi, who was one of those people who was helping the president somehow in that sense, and saying, President is Tanza, is supporter in any way. She availed herself for service. So, yes, those were the people who availed themselves. There was comrade Futi MCB who also availed herself to try and make sure I'm handy with my but avail a skill sub as business, politics, communications. They availed themselves. There was Gift, who was also a person who drafted negubhala some constitutions. Tingapale tiningi betimcela ukuthi abhale administrate endelokwa nalokwa tingapale betimcela ukuthi ahamba utimelela mhlawumbe uma kunelicala lesisebenzi and stuff. So that man is well versed in ngabatani articles kubhala ipolitiki kubhala a constitution and all this. So he availed him. The president, I'd like to draft something. Those people, and because it is important not to mention names. So I am happy to see these are some of the secrets I need to share with you guys in Itowati. But they are not going for Congress for the next 3 years because of the fact that labantu basazama ukustructureisha basakedarisha abantu basengaqedzi nalo recruiter kusarecruitwa members lama members asarecruitiwe ayobese ayahamba aya Congress awuthi funela yona NCO yawo lokusho ukuthi in 3 years time look at Swalimo going into a Congress and making sure ukuthi they vote with him, and anyone can join. We put them join Swalimo. You can have a double membership because Swalimo is a movement, a political party. EFF ulunga futhi lesolem le EFF ungajoin Swalimo as a movement and saying I'm just joining as a movement. Unionist. So everyone is welcome, by the way, and those political parties labasebenzisana neSwalimo, we salute them because you are doing a great work and you are maintaining peace within the struggle, even though ema ideologies and nonke futhi akafanani, but niyasho ukuthi asisebenzeni sonke sibambisane sibe munye. And we also thank comrade Mages Bongile, who is the chair now wayo PPA. We know ukuthi you've been struggling with some gentlemen like PPA. Ni PPA nani bese kungasasendaweni kanjani ke phela ngoba liyahlupha lenjala ka PPA, but ke sibonga lokuthi comrade Mages Bongile ukhonye manje kuyihola PPA and PPA is taking direction. Siyibonile PPA emveni ihambile yalapha eSnat center yafike yasimaswati ngiyanimema nonke siqala into siphathi sathi ithini dikhalo ithini imivo yenu. You sat there make walalela ukuthi athini emaswati wakuthatha lokho utawubuyela PPA niyokudiscuss emaswati afuna ini. And sibonile membership yeSwalimo lapha kule mhlangano PPA yize iSwalimo ingekho ku PPA kodwa yayosekela yayosekela lo msebenzi we PPA yabakhona ngeliningi lakhona. So I think that is another thing that maybe pissed off a certain leader. Unfortunately leader ngikhuluma ngayo ayisekho kule structure se PPA, but ayikho nje kule body le PPA ikhona njengelunga but ilunga le party lenkulu, but abakamfaki because you know we understand the agenda of disorganizing to organize. We know they want to disorganize to make sure that they reorganize in that way. So lengu addressa ukuthi they are afraid of Swalimo because of its growth. But the president wakona and president waka Facebook and all the things, but I'm just making statements that I've seen. La afika lapho khona afuna confuse emaswati. You see bam laba confuse emaswati laba confuse emaswati asibadzini nyalo. You see lesikudzinga konyalo iprogress. Lesikufuna konyalo inqubekela phambili. Lesikufuna konyalo sifuna ukuqhubeka siye embili. Singeke sikhone futhi asikuceli ukuthi emaswati akithi angabanjelelwa abanjelelwe bantu kule struggle lezi. Asifuni kubanjelelwa amaswati, sifuna kumeka sure ukuthi lo mzabalazo wethu lo uyaqhubeka uya embili ngemandla. Lo mzabalazo wethu lo uyaqhubeka uya embili. Otherwise ngeke sikwadi ukuthi sitaw achieve uma sitawuqhubeka sidlale. Sikhathi sekudlala siphelile emaswati. Sikhathi lesi sekuthi emaswati akithi aqale manje a progress and make sure ukuthi bayafinyelela bafuna kufinyelela khona. And it's an open show, angisho singashaya ungashaya enombeleni la lekhona inombolo yalakhaya it's +268. I'll make sure ngiyayifaka la ku screen so that you can also do call because ngengithatha sekuthi ngiyakhuluma ngala emaswati lamanye akakhona ukukhuluma ngoba lo muntu uthi bengifuna kuphawula manje inkinga lana sekuphawula wena uyabona. So ayifuneki kanjalo, kufuneka ukuthi emaswati ashaya ungashaya but ushaya via WhatsApp call kuphela. Ushaya nga WhatsApp call kuphela. Inombolo ngiyo leyibonako lethi +268 it's C7632 8758 76328758. Yeah, ngiyona mbono longashaya kuyo via WhatsApp leyo. Sitokwathi kuyixoxisa ukuthi yini umvo wakho and feel free langabe futhi ngukubili ushaye futhi usho ukuthi yathi thini uyangikhuba kulokukhuluma because everybody is entitled to his own opinion, and my opinion per se is some political leaders, they are afraid of President Makaukau and Swalimo, and they're acting desperate manje by using propaganda, lies, pure lies to change the image of the president. Uyasebenda We've seen him working. Yes, man. Iswalimo yake is growing. And the political influence yake is strong. But this Lombuto, are they ready to coexist? Or Stabanema rivals toti? We've seen what EFF has done in South Africa by delaying policies that will affect South Africans. They've came through, they've changed so many things. Existence Yavela just Kalen and became one of the biggest political parties in South Africa. Which is the same here. The movement has emerged to become the biggest movement in the Swatini. But I think, is it because of the Gabalelsi movement? Because as I say, Maswati, Butsi ligama lelithi movement lafike lahlupha because isiyathi Putemo is People's United Democratic Movement. Lina movement Putemo ekugcineni una movement. So is the People's United Democratic Movement. And Swalimo is Swaziland Swaziland Liberation Movement. Did Putemo felt like Swalimo is replacing them because they call themselves a movement, and why is Magaga calling his whatever party a movement? It is he declared that we are not a party but we are a movement. So that could be the issue or the bone of contention here. I'm not seeing, but I'm trying to state out some certain facts. Bungendeka phela ukaze ukuthi ulo kangaka nje President Putemo, is it because ekuthenini bele lo wekunene, is it because vele lo wekunene is that person yini vele ekuthenini you guys are taking over my space or not? Ukaze ukuthi sekuleyo situation leyo ekutheni hayi ngingithathela isikhundla sami sekuba ngu president or ngingithathela isikhundla sami sekuba ngilota ubusa mhlambe even naseSwatini. These are some of the issues that we can actually look at as Maswati. Sihleli phasi and collectively we would decide ukuthi President Putemo, are you okay, or they are affecting you further in that statement? So we were just looking at that facts. The number you can call me, Neo, 76328758, and then what is your view? What is your political view when it comes to this matter? Why are they afraid of Swalim? Or they are not afraid of Swalim? Because they could be afraid or not afraid. So these are some of those issues that we can actually look at. But that's why I want to likewise educate certain people about it as well, because I think it's very important for us to continue to educate more people. So if you are up for education, so you will listen to what we are going to talk about today, and just make sure you learn from it, and then we move on, because I believe in making sure that we can learn from one another as we continue to push this agenda lesikhuluma ngayo ukuthi phela live laseSwatini liyadzinga ukuthi liqhubeke lanze likhule liqine kuze ukuthi litawukwadi ukuthi linqobe. So now again angiqala ngokuthi masodla amandla lesikhathi lesikuso sikhathi lapho khona sidzinga ukuthi sibambisane sibe munye, sikhathi lapho khona kudzinga ukuthi layo naloyo lomunye ahloniphe lomunye. Don't be afraid of propaganda leqhamuka kubantu labehlukahlukene, because you have different view. It doesn't mean ukuthi you are their enemy. Sifuna umzabalazo munye but ngathi indlela ehlukene, but we must fight together as one. We must work as a community. We must work and our ideas basically and our parties and our movements should complement one another other than being against one another. Now it's unfortunate when you have certain leaders personal issues against a certain political party for no reason, by the way. So we want to say now emaswati akakwadi ukuthi la sakakhona khona manje sakaze sigabeni lapho khona sekudzingeka ukuthi alwele kuthula nenkululeko yemaswati within the political circles and within every spectrum. we cannot afford to lose umzabalazo because of bantu labanye ama-agendas abo. Now, lesimcwa ngako ukuthi we must squash propaganda and move on, because lokho propaganda could delay in umzabalazo and it makes some leaders lose focus. So we want to say political leaders who are affected by this propaganda, squash that propaganda and don't lose focus. Continue to fight for freedom. We are closer than you think. We are almost there. So we just need to make sure we push even harder. And Emma political ideas they are not that important as even Semaswati. Logumkoga is even Semaswati gunye. Logumkoga is even Semaswati ingululego ye Maswati. So if you are offering that, Maswati atau join umzabalazo. But uta offering ema ideologies akho kuphela. Maswati ngendeke ahlale lapha kasho athi hey angungelo ngoba angwati. It's a political leader ema Swati akakwati kulandzela indlela angakafundziseki ngayo. Angafundziseka emaswati ayakwati kulandzelela. Emaswati bayangekaza ujovela i-COVID-19 uma angakafundziseki. Kodwa ngaloku usafundzisekile time and again, ahambile emaswati ayojovela in COVID-19. It's exactly the same in politics. Lama political school lokuhamba sifundzisa simunye sicollaborate singama party ngiloko lokutasona ukuthi sikwati kunqoba, but uma sitawukulwa sodwana, definitely we are going to fail. And also, I must stay clear ukuthi kule live lesiphila kulo live lebtsakazi. So we know that, right? And it is the reason why
I'm not coming to a board meeting, I'm not coming to you down there.
la kule live lesikulo basically live lebtsakazi, and uma singalinqobi singali nalobtsakazi ngesikholwa, we might lose the battle even. But uma sitawukulwa ngekukholwa lekunqoba sitawukwati ukulisilidle lelive. But uma sitawungena sihlava sibe buhlaluhlalu, then we are going to break down together as one. So we are fighting a very big war in the country that we just need to make sure we see and definitely one thing for sure, emaswati lakutsinga kuti akunote over time and again kuti ipolitiki iyini, wayati ipolitiki utakwati kuyinqoba. Ngichazile emveni ngathi ipolitiki especially the struggle lesibuso ufuna usi-understand sisukaphi sifika la sikhona khona kwabangwa yini, akubangwanga yini i-referendum, and-ke siyilungisa kanjani indzaba ye-referendum and pushing back to it. Those are some of the issues that funeka siwabukete uma uku-struggle. A struggle is igaba tinzathu: political activity, revolutionary, and guerrilla warfare. Tigaba letinzathu. These are not ideas, struggle sinye, but siqala with a parliamentary activity, sibuye ku-revolutionary, bese sigcina nge-guerrilla warfare. Don't get complementary, like I've said again. What Jagaboya revolution was parliamentary action, they will label you as a criminal. They will label you as a terrorist. What Tumago revolutionary struggle was Kishima Waya guerrilla warfare. Nala Pokta we terrorists, and then it didn't count on Tabating Bopang Ubuleba lead. So you understand? But Yakale has a parliament. A push a job about push about Tadin and Kauzela, Yabese Biabu revolutionary struggle. Lapokona we saw a Tifakati Bo South Troika, Sabatina Tifaka Ekati, Bo UN and the US and other embassies talking about it. It's because Lemboya Kalagup in a parliamentary activity. It's the reason why Yatola in the Stundi in the Segalega. Then now, umasasi exhaustile le parliamentary activity sangana revolutions ay exhaust revolutions abapusha bayagupi bayagu dialogue, then definitely umasuak dialogue is either siyagu GNU noma siyagupi siyagu guerrilla warfare. sekude longakukhutha lapho because sewuthi exhausted otimbili i-parliamentary activity and the revolutionary struggle, and then sesiyabuya ke siya ku-guerrilla warfare or siya ku-government official unity. That is struggling. So uma usathi struggling usathi sicala kanjani siya kuphi utawukwati kusinqoba. This is just some of the things that we want to talk about.
Tabo, just coming in.
Yes.
Just coming in there.
Yeah.
Just coming in, Tabo, in my questions that I want to just pause Maswatini Naguwe right now is that according to your own analysis and understanding, Nani Maswat Lamahle Makai, Maswati kufanele ukuthi kube yini le action plan lined up. Let's say kuthiwa Maswati ayavumela, because here it's not about one person's idea or one party's idea. If Maswati agcina avumela ukuthi okay, we are not going to take the strategy sekuye parliament singene ngecards. Yini any other options that we can explore to prevent elections from ever taking place? Singenda kanjani ukuthi lawo ma elections agcine okay, i-action plan yemhlonisha Gawuzela, I can understand ukuthi ngoplan B should we fail kuwisa letinkundla before 2023. So now if tinkundla ke sithine njengalabanye mfuna kuhambelana nalabanye bema political parties including Putemo ukuthi let's do away with tinkundla singaphindi sibe nazo. It's again, what action plan do we have to prevent the tinkundla from ever going to elections? Because if tinkundla they do go to elections, we will have a problem because the bill ekusibulalisa ekuthi singaphindi exist and exist. What's it just ungakasho ukuthi swalile? What's it just bakufake? What's it ungakakhulumi nekhuluma? What's it bakubophile noma bewuthi ngitela ufuna ukuthi elikhethweni so uboshiwe? What's it just sipi base uboshiwe uyabona? Mntawenda window le kanje manje ngithi mina. What action plan can we do before we go to option B? Ngile singayenda simobilize inyalo to stop and eradicate tinkundla tingayisho likhethweni kuthiwe nje sekude kwasanhlobo.
It's a pity lo mbuto wakho ngiyawuthanda kakhulu, but it's a pity ukuthi lo plan A now uqhamuka from President Gawuzela as well. So let's see, the plan A uthi yini lesingayina, because the reason why ubuto mbuto is because none of the political parties or leaders has come up with a plan ukuthi sidiwisa njani tinkundla before 2023. Angithi?
Okay, top.
Yes, so uthi ke lo mbuto sidiwisa kanjani? Sidiwisa ngendlela ukuthi now kuna sikubita ngema shutdown even longer seswatini. Ngishito ngathi it's a pity lo ukuthi now lo mbono lo uqhamuka ku President Gawuzela, which is a man of that is based on solutions. Lo ukuthi now he's proposing a mass shutdown of the country everywhere in terms of ukuvala imigwaqo, staying away from public services and stopping nje kunemafemi nokusebenza emafemini kumiswe nje yonke into kube ne mass shutdown eSwatini up until eMaswati akithi agcine akhululekile. So kukhululwa kwala Maswati kutawukhululwa yini? Maswati akhululwa yini? Atawukhululwa eMaswati ukuthi kube ne mass shutdown letawuforsa lo hulumende ukuthi angasakhona ukusebenza sanhlobo. Uma ithi iPhudemo they want to make the country ungovernable, but they don't come up with a strategy. It's a problem because the arson attacks only cannot thwart or stop the government from doing whatever they are doing. Or but I believe Tabiso the mass shutdown of the country and everybody apagi motem kwaqweni kumiwe kwenziwe ama roadblocks timoto kungakhona kuhamba bomangololo, that alone can actually topple the government ukuthi sengicela sikhulume abantu bami akusasebenteki. Without doing that, we are not going to be able to ukuthi silibhilite noma ke siyimise likhetho noma simise uhulumende, because uma kungasahambeki kusho ukuthi lelikhetho kutaba bede because isabe sikunema blockade kumiwe. So labamu nabo bayafuna kuhamba bede imisebenzi yabo. So ngiloko lokutha umphoqela uhulumende ukuthi athi ngabuya step phansi sikhulume asiyambeni siyedala.
Okay. Just for a second. Ema border blockages endiwe evela kangwane kude lokunganani lokwendekile lokuthikabete uhulumende lokwendile nje uhulumende ubeke ama roadblocks ajikisa ama comrades jikani andiwa ama blockages kwajatshulwa kwaba kwangabi anything to effect emaswati noma effect amswati kwaba nje social gathering kwajatshulwa kwase kuyahanjwa emva kwema hour lathite less than 5 hours kwajikwa kwabuyelwe emuva bekuyi social gathering nje.
That's very true.
Sawenda ema mass protests saya ku embassy sesibambene sajika kwashaywa abamvu badutshulwa kwayiwe enkantolo kubomthandeni Dube la ngaphandle asidutshulwa ama comrades ashawa ama comrades walimala encumbi kwaboshwa abantu sibuya ko June unrest wendu watitele kateswayo khona ethukoswa ngifuna usithi ethukoswa nasinathi tsendiwa embabane dutshulwa bothishela bashaya kwafaka amakhiyagesi emabhasini kwajika wendu wabo commemoration ini lena yathabani inkomonye i-memorial service kwadutshulwa abahlonishwa kwaboshwa bomthandeni. I'm just saying we have exhausted all revolutionary methods of trying to bring revolution
Except
estaladini ngithi ke mina singakayifaki lena yaseparliament, are there any other options left nyalo ukuthi singawa exhaust la ka revolution?
yes, the mass shutdown Thabiso is the only one lesingakayisebenzisi manje, because angifuni sikhulume ngegerela wefeke udubula abamvu nakonke lokunye sekushisiwe sekwendiwe konke, but the mass shutdown of the country ayilimati impahla yemuntu ayibulali muntu, we just stop sibloke imigwaqo kumiwe nje kuthi ntsili vele imele ithi nayo leyo agenda that comes from Swalimo, by the way, is the only one lengala kule revolution revolutionary struggle lesele ongela wethu exhausted sesiwabonile, but they did not really much work. But the shutdown of the country, le curfew ingadeclarewa nguhulumende, le curfew le yekuza kusahambeki ideclare ngithi sisive kulo hulumende, bangakhona ngakona kuyale kuma cabinet, bangakhona ngakona ngisho lokwendana bahlale phansi kumiwe nje kuthiwe nyawusiyema manje senilutho nemaphoyisa akakhona ukuhamba nemasotsha akakhona kuyoshaya abantu la afuna hambe ufuna hambe ngetinyawo kumiwe emgwaqweni kubhakwe imoto badesertile ba-abandonisha everything bashiya kanjani emabhizinisi atawuma nzi kusebenza nalala bazuza khona kutawuma kusebenza emasothi onke asacrifice kuthiwe sena i-mass shutdown yale country kuze kuthi the international media ithi nayo ibuka ithi why kube ne shutdown kangaka ingilapho khona ke so nabo bataba affected because ingozi ngeke khona kuhamba baba bengozi batafuna kuyeta indzaweni ngeke bakhona kwenda lutho amabhizinisi abo awile, so it's a shutdown. As much as they have a helicopter angeke indize forever Thabiso itawuhamba ifike email itawufike email khona, but utawehlela kuphi utawundiza uye kalomunye udizwe kalomunye ngeke uze uye estolo ngeke uze uye barrel ngeke uze uye kuphi. It's a total shutdown of the country kumiwe nzi and emaswati agadze ama properties apho bakhona khona, but at the end of the day kude umuntu la emsebenzini. In that way the government is going to topple and fall, and they will fail ukuthi bagcine bakwendile manje ngoba ungakhona kuyadzawo ungakhona kuhamba nama ministers akhona kuhamba, the same ministers that people say hayibo asinike labantu abayifunako how na live limanzi, and in that way they will be able ukuthi bavele emisakatweni manje masotla sicela ukuthi siyilungise sicela phansi, because you force these people ukuthi baqhambe sebakhala bacela idialogue kithi ngoba uma sesayicela idialogue thina sesilahlekile.
I can say nje kucela nje ngiyanicela maphudemo lamahle, ngiyanicela maphudemo lamahle, ngiyanicela comrades ngikhulumiseni president wenu asiyekelele strategy sekudestroya umzabalazo in the agenda of Phudemo alone, because njobu yasho Phudemo is called people's movement. It's a people's democratic movement. It's a movement for the people of which country? Of Swaziland. Yes, so angasibulali strategy president we Phudemo mkhulumiseni ma leaders akhe labanye leninaye mkhulumiseni angasibulali struggle. We need put demo in also mobilization ukuthi kwenteke le mass shutdown. We need
Swalimo sikhathi sekuncenga sekuncenga president put demo mlungisi makhanya siphelile singeke sibe sincengana naye.
No. I'm saying listen Thabo, there's this thing you have to understand. Put demo is not Mlungisi Makhanya. So I don't like the fact ukuthi utawushwambaganya put demo with their president, because their president arrogance yake is not the arrogance of every person lola papute. You know ukuthi ka put demo, there are people who are smart. There are people who've got great ideas. There are people who are robust in the struggle against the regime. The people on the likes of Bowandile Dlulu. I'm telling you, Guti, you cannot shambaganya put demo with the arrogance of their leader. That is why I'm saying put demo. They must call their leader to order and put him Guti agasemela. And then we need put them because their presence now in a, you know, when you have the presence of old people in with the presence of the genuineness with the new generation.
That's very true, Tabi. So that's well articulated. But we also want to state out the Wuti, ma individuals kulo mzabalazo kufaka ikhathi bo Martin ngeke sifune ukuthi singabanjelelwa babantu nje basibambele because banema agendas abo lo mzabalazo ufuna uqhubeka. They don't own the struggle. Swalungu does not own the struggle. EFF does not own the struggle. Asiso sebantu bonga asiso umuntu munye sise party struggle semaswati lesi but bona bafuna when ungathi le struggle sabo botwana and they want to call shots lapha nalapha. You understand? So that we will not allow ukuthi kungendeka
abanye Thabo bahlushwe ngilokufuna kufaka ethics lana kanti sidlala political game le debt. Uyabona labanye beta nema professionalism babo lobu bakanhlaka lokubhekela eceleni bafuna kwasebenzisa even against the people labanabo ngala kule struggle. Lokwende ukuthi le struggle sibe ne shakedown when you find other people abadibita ngema so called people's journalists babhala against the people's loved people lokumele ngabe bafuba influential bazame kuba campaign when and then you find that they don't campaign some of the people ababonakala bakhuluma kabi. I will tell you, Thabo, there are people like Zoli Martin Dlamini. Zoli Martin Dlamini, you never find him writing anything against his friend, Mlungisi Makhanya. Why am I saying his friend? I'm saying his friend because I've seen them several times personally discussing things. You know, Gucci, these people, they are friends and they are calling themselves Isbal. You will know, Gucci, the agenda, they discuss these things. One time I overheard them speaking about Gazela, but I won't get further. I know, Gucci, these guys, they have something against the Swalimo president. That is why they will try their best to say things the secrets are and the thing is you can try to do that, but this person Lokazela is one person and he's going to stay, and there is a people's voice and the people are hearing him. And that is why you cannot just write stories about him and try to destroy him. He will always emerge. You try to bury a seed, it will germinate into a beautiful tree that will grow and deliver more seeds like that. So all in all, I'm saying we need Pudemo, not the ideology of Makhanya alone. I see it's in ideology of Makhanya, but we need Pudemo. Has been there, they played a vital role. So, and that is why we need Pudemo now, we need Swalimo now, we need CPS
Pudemo is
now.
going to Congress in September.
If Pudemo is going to Congress, it's okay. Let them go to Congress. But I'm advising Pudemo not to ever put back Makhanya, nominate Makhanya. I know Makhanya will do anything to campaign amongst his leaders that he's robust, he's fighting, whatever. But he has decamped Pudemo on the process of what he's doing. The tearing down. You can never tear down something less as build. You can't go into you will destroy.
What if he's doing it because he knows he's going out of the seat?
Yeah, he is doing it maybe because he knows Gusi is leaving the seat and he wants to leave the Putemo tarnished. As singabe sesesibanetinsolo ukuthi udlile somehow, because utamkhwaza akhuluma lapha athi there are people who put themselves in the position of God and now they want to detect to us as Putemo. No. It's
Not as Putemo, as you.
It is about him.
Okay.
So right now, I'm saying if Mlungisi has become irrelevant to the struggle, Anga destroy Putemo on his way out. We don't need that. If Mlungisi ubonakala ukuthi he's not coming back to Putemo, let him leave and leave alone. Asuke Putemo, isale iPutemo, siyayidzinga iPutemo. When you say Putemo, when you see the guy saying nje na ukhuluma igama le Putemo bekunyakata sigodlo sasinako le fee. Now sekune Swalimo, I'm thinking take team the two movements. You will see some fire happening and you will know the sigodlo stagwo. So I'm telling you, take team, put Putemo, put Swalim, put EFF, put CPS, put SPLM, put CVC, put NLC.
Together. Swadepa.
Put Swadepa, put two cause. Put those people, put them on the front, put them there with one voice.
Snas.
Put them there with one voice. I'm telling you, one thing, let's see how we will win. Surely we will win. So our agenda now is to unite all the democratic fronts and people all together with one voice to fight against this brutal regime, to twirl it out of existence, to ever even exist, to be so called. It will remain in the history books. Mswati will be the last king of Swaziland, and when Mswati is called the last king of Swaziland, he will be called the last king of Swaziland who failed, not even succeeded, who dismally failed, and his cabinet, and this is his last cabinet. Le corner, leave. So I'm saying to all the democratic fronts, let's fight, let's put all the pressure, let's put all the muscle we can have on the struggle. I'm telling you what will happen eventually at the end of the day. You will see us winning, you will see a regime falling, you will see us taking over, you will see us rendering the regime useless. There will be in the history of Swaziland as a failed king, Nje, as he is right now.
That's Tabiso Modo. Thank you so much, Tabiso, for your input right there. And you are taking a lot out of this, and we are going to make sure that you are doing a justice, especially a couple put them. Congress in September, sinfisa Nihanta, sinfisa Labuti, Nikateba Hall, Labatkunil, Boani, Bambu Labati, Guti, Yinum Zabalas, Guti, Bawatu.
I would campaign for that leader, long one. I would. Personally, I would.
So kwenile kaputemo kwene kakhulu ngoba utawuthi uyamkhampanyela bese uyalimala umntwana ebanu ngoba kwenile kaputemo. The people labalapha, they are power hungry living labo, especially lama leaders la khona manje. So kumkhampanyela nje manje ngabe kumfaka engcupheni ngoba sibone kuhlukubetheka ngisho ama leaders ka PPA bosive sinqaba bashisa bathi imoto tabo, and we know exactly who did it. We are both within the PPA itself. So ngifuna ukuthi lokho ukuthi ngisho kanjalo ngisho ukuthi